Hello and welcome to SEC Basketball Reaction. It's the Final Four. I'm your host, Chris Lee, joined by Blake Lovell and Max Barr. Florida's just beaten Auburn 79-73 in a game that, frankly, you don't see many games better than this one. Florida rallies down 8 at half to win. In just a tremendous basketball game. Let's start here. Congratulations to Auburn on a tremendous and historic season. I mean, Auburn's biggest flaw was just picking the wrong year to do this in, honestly, because that was an elite team I think that could have won the national title many years. Not this one. Those are my initial thoughts. Two elite basketball teams. Florida comes out on top. Max Barr, I'll kick it to you as is custom. Your thoughts on this one?
Gators. The Gators. Hey, real quick, Blake, check this out. EJ is here. It's your time to shine, EJ. Any Gators still in the Alamo Dome? Come to Section 109 if you want to party and have a little Alamo Dome celebration with Big Gator EJ. Have at it. It's your time. It's your time. Everyone's jumping in. And like you said, Chris, this is going to mostly be about the Gators. So for me to start, first, you know what I'm going to do. You already know what I'm going to do. I think that was the best game I watched all year.
Yeah.
I think that was the best game I watched all year. I don't know how many times I've said that, but I'm not lying. What a first half from Auburn, putting up almost 50 points in not too fast pace of a game. Not too fast-paced. That was as efficient of an offensive first half as we have seen. Janai Broome playing through injury looked fantastic. Chad Baker-Mazara, without the ligament in his thumb, shooting the lights out in the first half. And then you have the adjustments, the comeback. Walter Clayton Jr., a story for the ages. What a game. And congratulations, Gators fans. Shot at winning it all.
Yep. The Gators will march on to Monday, and before we jump into everything else, shout out to the new member Jeff here joining in. A little Gator chomp I see from Jeff. A little excited after this one, as you said. Big Gator EJ excited too. Just quickly to touch on this, Nick. Yeah, what happened to the live stream for this game? Well, I'll tell you what happened. We had about 70 to 80 mile an hour winds in my neighborhood. My power went out, and we have 2 trees down on a couple houses in the neighborhood right now, so we did not do the watch along because, that was kind of the state of things early. And as Chris can confirm, we pretty much watched the whole first half here without sound because they were doing the weather coverage during the game. And so it was the split screen. So you're watching the weather coverage and all that. So we apologize to you guys, but yeah, that was kind of out of our control there for the watch along. But we did watch the game. And to kind of add to some of the things that you guys have talked about. Yeah, I mean, great game. I texted you after the first 5.5 minutes. You don't know where my head was at. I said, this is the best 5.5 minutes of SEC basketball I've seen all year. It was just tremendous. I was all in from the first 5.5 minutes watching it on the split screen. But, yeah, it was a great start to the game. You just kind of knew it would be one of those. And then I texted you towards the end. I said, the difference, very simple. One team had Walter Clayton. The other did not. And I mean, how many times have we said that this year? Obviously, there's much more to this game that we'll talk about, but that guy, once again, just made so many ridiculous shots that just he makes look so effortless. And it's just one of those things where he does it time and time again. And 34 points, 11 of 18 from the floor, 5 of 8 from 3, hit all 7 free throws, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. There's your stat line right there. And thought that was certainly a big part of it. You mentioned Tommy H. made a big play down the stretch there. Martin made some big plays. But I thought the big story was really Florida defensively in the second half. And I know that kind of pertains to what I think Salty Tiger brings up here. And that is how, it did seem like there was a little bit of a difference in the second half in terms of the just the way the game flowed offensively for Auburn. But yeah, I thought that was certainly a story there too from that one.
Yeah, and I think the thing that we kind of circled as an X factor was Auburn's 3-point shooting. We said Miles Kelly and Denver Jones for that matter too, but especially he and Pettiford could just have one of those games where one of them hits 6 3-pointers and you look back and you circle that as the difference. Florida really got out on shooters, and its big spent a good bit of time doing that. That made some really difficult at the end. And that was one of the big differences. Like the guards are going to be the story, but I thought that, and the other theme was you will get nothing easy at the rim, and you will not like it because they got in foul trouble a little bit for it. But man, and Broome did get some good buckets early in the first half where he positioned himself, but second half when they took the ball at the rack, there was somebody waiting, and if you were going to get a good shot at it, you were going to get fouled.
Yeah, and you could tell both teams, the defensive effort in the second half just ramped up. I mean, I think Auburn had 1 turnover at halftime. I might be wrong about that, but I think Auburn only had 1 turnover at halftime, and they ended with 14. I mean, that's insane. The physicality and pressure that picked up. You heard it from Alijah Martin in that the little kind of locker room runway interview right before the second half started. It was just the classic, like, what do you got to do in the second half here? And Alijah Martin was like, yeah, we need to be more physical. We need to be more aggressive defensively. They're beating us up right now. And I mean, just look at the scoring, 46 points in the first half. I think the points per possession was up above 1.4, which for you analytics per possession nerds, that's insane. Offensive efficiency, only 27 points in the second half. I thought 2 plays for Florida were real massive in both directions that I had like kind of pinned mentally. It was the 4-on-1, Tommy H fumbles it a little bit, and it was the turnover. I was like, that's going to come back to get the Gators. And then even with Kondo playing as tough as a game as he did, could not get anything to fall, in foul trouble all game, sits down, takes the charge on Broome. And I thought that was like, wow, there's a winning play right there. Now you could go through and go to any of Walter Clayton's massive shots and call him that. But I thought that charge that Condon hit was game-changing, especially with the way that he had played leading up to that point.
All right, Big Gator EJ reveals that Charles Barkley was on the plane from Phoenix to San Antonio. So,
wow.
So maybe, they exchanged the game plans perhaps of that. But a couple other things here I want to get to just from the chat here as we talk more about this. By the way, I know some of you guys are mentioning the chat tonight. I don't really know what you expected. This is a Final Four game. One team won, one team lost. It's not exactly going to be a library study in here, I don't think. So we're keeping an eye on things. We got someone on the back end here keeping an eye on some anything nefarious going down in the chat. But again, this is the way it works here sometimes when you get these heated matchups in the Final Four, SEC on SEC. But $5 super chat from Zach. I don't want to miss the super chats here. Walter Clayton Jr., not real, he says. All he can do is laugh. Zach's rooting for Florida to win it all. Coming from an Auburn person there, we appreciate Zach and his contributions as always. Stuart checking in with $5 as well. Tremendous game. Congrats to the Gators. Well played. See you next year. Great season, boys. War Eagles, says Stuart on that. So we appreciate that. Stuart, yeah, understandable here, Justin. Justin says, still too soon right now. Check you out later. Hey, we get it. We understand. So we appreciate you tuning in nonetheless on that. So, yeah, I mean, kind of like what you said, Max, there were some of those kind of pivotal points in the game.
Yeah.
In terms of just, there were a couple of those that I'm glad you brought up the Tommy H one when the fumble out of bounds. I'm like, that may be one that comes back, and all our Tommy H love may get thrown back at us if they lose the game off of this. But it didn't happen. We did mention the rebounding aspect. Florida only got 12 offensive rebounds here. Auburn had 9. I think 15 and 11 last time around, so it wasn't a huge difference there. But it really just came down to, hey, I mean, there were a lot of free throws shot in this game. Florida shot 70%. Auburn shot 69.6%, so 70% as well. You'd love to have some of those missed free throws back in a close game like this, but at the end of the day, like we said, it's one of those, and I think someone said it in the chat earlier, the thing about this Florida team we've said all season is that you can never count them out. Like at any point, even in those stretches where Auburn has that lead, I'm still sitting there like, all right, you kind of know they're going to make a run. They made the run early in the second half, even a little bit later on. Like you started to see, okay, can Auburn maybe push this out a little bit? And just they're so hard to put away because it's all driven by Walter Clayton and then everything else they can do around that. So, yeah, I mean, that's been the story of Florida all season, and games they've gotten down even during this stretch over the past. I mean, they've played well all year, but really you think about the ones in SEC play where they're a little bit more challenged. They just always found a way, seemingly, and that's just what this team does. They're resilient, and they kind of showcased that here again tonight. Bit of a different game than we saw last time around, but we kind of expected that. I don't think anyone was expecting a 20-point lead by anyone in this game. But yeah, great performance from Florida. And again, I didn't think it was a bad performance from Auburn. It was a great game. It was just a matter of Florida made more plays down the stretch, and Auburn just did not have the same kind of answer, especially in the second half. I mean, it was, Florida scored 41, Auburn scored 27 in the second half after scoring 46 in the first half. So it just completely changed the dynamic there. Florida's defense stepped up. Auburn kind of seemingly, a little bit of a different approach, and that's how it turned out.
Where does Walter Clayton's game rank among the best Final Four performances you guys have ever seen?
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's hard to put it in that context without, I mean, I can't remember.
Yeah.
I can't even remember the games from last week now. I don't know how I can.
We got 30 his last game, so there was that too.
Yeah.
Which did leave me searching for NCAA tournament single game scoring total. Glenn Rice has got that with 180 back in 89. Clayton's got 123. Excuse me, Rice had 184. Gosh, that's an average of over 30 a game. Clayton's got 123, so he's not getting there, but good grief.
Chris, you want a quick stat here? I got two for you. 32 points are most by a Gator in a Final Four game. Udonis Haslem had 27 in the 2000 national championship. And then one more. Walter Clayton Jr. is the first player with back-to-back 30-point games in the Elite Eight and then Final Four since Larry Bird in 1979.
Pre-3-point line, obviously.
Right.
And that brings me would have had, but still. Yeah.
That brings me to my next take, which is not player of the year, but right now, there's no one that I would rather have on my team than Walter Clayton Jr. I would pick it. If we are doing a pickup game of the whole nation right now, I'm taking Walter Clayton Jr. first 10 times out of 10.
Well, you asked the hypothetical question, whatever day that was. Right? You asked the hypothetical question. If a team is down 1 with 20 seconds to go, who are you picking? And we had the National Player of the Year, top guy in Janai Broome as an option. We picked Walter Clayton. And I just think it's not anything against Broome. It's just that's the guy who, as soon as the ball comes in from out of bounds with those 20 seconds left, we know that Clayton's going to have the ball in his hands. And so it's a different scenario, but each time down the floor, unless it's a transition thing maybe, that's the guy they're looking to get the ball in his hands every single time they have an offensive possession. And with Broome, sure, you would hopefully they would try to do that, right? But he's not the guy bringing the ball down the floor. And so I just think the way he can do it, I mean, it is. He is on another level right now. And it will go down as one of the all-time great NCAA tournament performances. If they win this thing, even if they don't win this thing, I mean, one of the all-time great just seasons in terms of this guy and what he's done. And like we said, I mean, look at what it's just a matter of look how good Broome's been this year. Look how good Cooper Flagg's been this year. But we said that earlier in the season, any other year, this guy is an absolute no-brainer, not even close, choice for, not even just SEC Player of the Year, but maybe a National Player of the Year, not even a debate. And so that's how good he's been. And sure, you can certainly look at it now and say, right this second, he may be the best player in the country.
Blake, When we said, well, I don't know which day it was because we previewed this game for like 4 straight days.
I don't
but
remember.
We did X Factors one of the days. One of the days we did X Factors.
Okay.
And
I trust you. I trust your call on that.
One of the lines you had, because I believe you put out a whole stat line for him of Todd Pettiford. It was either on.
Oh yeah.
Was it like a neutral floor Pettiford?
The neutral away. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was we were just talking about different guys that maybe besides Broom or Walter Clayton that could have a big time impact on this game. I think for Auburn, we were talking about Pettiford and that kind of scoring trend, 1 for 6, 0 of 4 from 3, does impact the game and stuffs the stat sheet in other ways. But you don't get that kind of little heat check spark off the bench scoring output from Pettiford that we had kind of baked into the preview.
Yeah.
So
39-30 on the boards tonight too. That ended up being a big factor for Florida.
Yeah.
Second half, especially, I thought they got some big wins in the second half.
And I think what's so impressive about Clayton's 34 too is like they've got other guys. They got 7 or 8 guys that could score double digits in any night. And the fact that he got that many touches to get that many points tells you so much.
Yeah, it was looking like there for a while with the 16 turnovers. It was just like stop trying to overcomplicate it. Just give it to Clayton and get out of his way. I know it's not.
Speaking of get out of his way, how about that Alijah Martin dunk? That has to be a top 5 dunk of the year in the league.
Yeah, that was great too. I mean, there were a lot of those big plays in this game where you just had, my goodness, like the Tommy H when we said on the 3-point play like that, like there were just a lot of huge plays. Like even Auburn came down, had a couple early where you just like, it always, like in these kind of games, it really stands out so much. When we talk about like the length and the wingspan of some of these guys and their ability to basically from like the free throw line start the extension on like a layup, and then they just glide all the way and they're able to get the ball in enough of a, an angle. It's just, especially in these kind of games, it stands out so much. Like how many of those layups did either Martin or whoever, like where they're just extending their arm, you're like, the ball's never going to get there. And it gets there easily. Like it's just, I mean, again, that just kind of shows you that, my goodness, that they're both teams. I mean, I think you saw it. Like it was a physical game. I think, I'm not going to get into that. I was just about to start talking about, well, how is this game called compared to an SEC game? I'm not going to open that can of worms. You've already let us know in the chat what you think about it. But nonetheless, still, I think just overall, if you just look at it from the basketball perspective of what we saw here, I mean, it was, I don't think you could ask for a better game. Obviously, you could if you're an Auburn fan, but, I mean, it was a great game, and I thought just Florida wound up just making more plays there at the end. So,
did Auburn get a single easy basket in the second half? I'm like, even anything off like a broken floor turnover, anything, because I don't remember any.
I remember Cardwell got a lob or two, I think.
Oh yeah, he did get, but I mean that was more of a Broom kind of made that play. I mean that was choose your poison, and sometimes that happens.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, hey, you also, I feel for guys like Janai Broom right now, Cardwell, and guys that aren't coming back. And I mean, hey, Ruben Chinyelu, I think it was Ruben, does a spin move right out of the first or second possession, hits Broom, and Broom kind of bends over and grimaces a little bit, ends up playing 34 minutes, 15 and 7, 2 blocks, 3 steals. Like, you got Chad Baker-Mazara out there with a torn ligament in his shooting hand. I mean, we got one of the Cardwell. We did. I don't know if you saw it, Blake.
Oh, are you kidding me? Of course I saw it. I tracked those in my notebook. Yeah.
This is going to be mainly about Florida, but I do appreciate this Auburn team. Gave us a lot of A lot to talk about this year. A lot of fun, exciting team. Always entertaining. With whether it's good or bad, that's kind of up to who you're rooting for. But hey, you're gonna get entertained. Auburn led the way for the league most of the year. Number 1 overall seed. Another Final Four for Bruce Pearl. I know it's a sour ending, but geez, what a fun year that was covering Auburn. What an entertaining year.
Well, and if Clayton isn't just playing out of his mind, the story might be Baker, Mazzara, and Broome playing through pain.
Yeah.
And getting them there. I mean, and Baker Mazzara was terrific tonight. I mean, he had that one mistake at the end, but that's what happens when you got 6'10" guys closing out on you, arms and legs coming out you, and you think for a minute a shot that's a shot against anybody else is not a shot against those guys. And that was just another one of the second half differences.
No doubt. Donovan brought up something I thought was kind of a good point too. You said they didn't get a lot of easy shots, but there were some open shots Auburn had. I think their second half especially, where I'm trying to think, there were a couple where they're like, okay, they make that, all of a sudden, like look out, like this kind of maybe gets some things going a little bit, but just didn't make them. I mean, that just happens throughout the course of a game, but yeah, I mean, that's going to happen. Again, it comes down to who makes shots, and I think the legs can affect that a little bit too. When you get kind of late in those games and you think about just how physical of a game this was right from the start. I mentioned it, that first 5.5 minutes. Go back and watch it. I'll put it up against any first 5.5 minutes in an SEC game all season. Both teams were tremendous. But, it takes a lot out of you, and I think that was certainly, part of it too. But
I think Josh brings up a good point here too. Auburn a little bit tired there at the end. And we had that into the preview. If you went back and watched that first matchup, that was a piece. And that's by design from Florida. That's the rotation they built, bringing in Hanlockton, burning the red shirt. This is why he did it. A game like that. You think, why would a guy burn his red shirt like that to only play 9 minutes? Because he grabs 3 offensive rebounds in those 9 minutes. That's why. They only won by 6 points. Do they win the game without Hanlockton's 3 offensive rebounds? They didn't come in crunch time, but I'm trying to say, you burn a red shirt like that for a reason.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks, Ronnie.
Yeah, hit that like button. If you're in here, you're enjoying the tournament. If you're a Florida fan, hit that like button. Helps us out. If you're an Auburn fan, hit the like button as well. Obviously, we're going to have you covered in the offseason. We've already got our Keyshawn Hall transfer video, yes. Max. We'll have that one coming up. So, yeah, I mean, we don't stop. Like, just because your team gets beaten, as we said, we've already been doing transfer videos for other teams. We've got some kind of stored up that we're going to release here in the next several days. So, yeah, that's where you'll get in terms of building the roster for next season. If you're looking ahead, if you're an Auburn fan, if you're a Florida fan, we know what you're looking towards. That's this Duke-Houston game coming up here.
Yep.
Shortly. I don't have it. When is this tip off? Is it tipped off yet? I don't have it in front of me.
No.
But no, not yet. Good. So, yeah, I think Florida fans, if you're in the chat, who do you want? You want Duke? You want Houston? We ask it after every game. Who do you want? Who do you want to play for the national championship on Monday? Do you want to play the Blue Devils or the Cougars? Let us know your thoughts on that. We did our preview video. I guess there's still time to watch it, but we'll go ahead and spoil it right now. We all picked Duke, but listen, I think Max and I, in the texts we've had here over the past couple days, we did that video, 3-4 days ago? Max and I have sort of mentally convinced ourselves that don't sleep on the Cougars here. Don't sleep on the Cougars in this game. So, yeah, I think this should be a lot of fun, though, in this one, too. I think this is such a stylistic matchup. I love these kind of games, like with these two teams like this. So, we'll see.
Heart and soul game here out of Max Barr.
Max is in defensive stance right now. You just can't see it. He's actually in the stance at this moment. He's making it look effortless, just like Walter Clayton. But yeah.
You guys know the deal. Yeah. April rent is paid for if Houston wins it all.
Max, you haven't had to deal with tornadoes this week, have you?
Tornado in my mind, trying to tinker in between these games.
That's right.
I have spent more time in the bathroom this week waiting out tornadoes than a whole fraternity on a Saturday morning. I mean, it was just
we've
crazy.
Had a tornado watch/warning
every
for 4
night,
straight days here.
Yeah,
so
we've had flooding.
Yeah,
and my son, who's usually terrified of those things to some degree, was just pissed off. He's like, "Get the stupid weather off the TV so I can watch this game." He's really worried about that stuff to some degree, and he's just like, "Screw it! I'm gonna watch basketball. Y'all can go huddle down there if you need to, but we got a ball game to watch."
Here's a great segue. If you want us to not be doing all that this week, you want us to be at the Final Four, your support means everything. So we're always looking for sponsors. Get us to the Final Four next year. We are an independent company. So we're always looking for new sponsors. Reach out to us. You can see our Twitter handles there. Reach out to us on Twitter. Find our emails, all that good stuff. Reach out. Super chats are always welcome, as you know. And your memberships matter too. So sign up to that. It just means more tier. I have some fun stuff coming up for you. Again, we apologize for the watch along, but kind of out of our control with the weather here and power out and all that kind of stuff. So but we'll have you covered, of course, for reaction. We'll give our preview coming up tomorrow for the national championship game, because we know the Gators are going to be there, and we'll talk about the matchup with either Houston or Duke. Tonight, maybe back as well after this Duke-Houston game. Talk about it. Maybe do a little early preview on the matchup. We'll TBD on that. But again, if you want to hop in, support the channel, you can do that. I'm going to leave the link in the description, so that way you can hit the join button and join the membership here on that. So,
just real quick before we move on, could expect that Keyshawn Hall to Auburn video very soon. And then I saw Brett asking for TBB to Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
We need more. We need more Tide. We need more Tide. Call the Tide. Get your friends in here. We'll pump out some TBB. Noah Williamson to the Tide.
Yep, we've done a couple here. If you're looking for transfers,
yes,
we've already talked about a couple the past 2 days. Jacoby Gillespie to Tennessee. We talked about Jalen Lowe to Kentucky today. So, 2 transfers, more on the way. We'll also talk about Texas A&M hiring a new coach. Buckyball heading to College Station. We're going to talk about that in a separate video coming up here, probably on Monday would be my guess. But for now, talking about the Gators against either Duke or Houston in the national championship game. So, any additional thoughts from you guys? Quinn with a $50 super chat. I see Quinn. The comment. We appreciate your support as always. Tough loss, I know, for Quinn's Auburn Tigers there, and we always appreciate Quinn's contributions to the channel. And there you go.
Quinn,
the Auburn fans. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say Quinn may not have had the best ending to tonight, but he's been quite the star this week. Seeing him on the field of 68.
I saw that.
Quite the celebrity, having himself a week there, enjoying San Antonio. How about that river or whatever it was, the whole parade? I'm missing out. I wanted to be there.
The Auburn fans at our channel this year were just top notch, and we had a lot of them. I will miss hanging out with that. I mean, hey, well, I'll be doing baseball, so if you guys are around, come over there, which we actually talked to Lindsey Crosby about your baseball team this week. So if you double dip into baseball, Auburn fans, we had that. But hope a lot of you, if you're into baseball, will come hang out with me over there. I won't see these two on it, but I'll be around.
All right, Max, I saw what you just started in the chat. Are you ready?
Are you
ready for the update?
I haven't seen it.
Here we go. All right, folks, an update, as we always do after any game that's played in this tournament, the update for the ESPN Men's Tournament Challenge that we started for Southeastern 16. The updated standings are available. And now, let's get to them. Live, on air, Southeastern 16. Boom! Uh-oh. Don't look now. Don't look now. Somebody is right there. Now, as we can see here, okay? Florida fans, I love you. But the thing that's holding me back from winning this bracket is you winning the national championship. So I've got the Duke Blue Devils right now, as we see. So therefore, it's all going to come down to this. Jared, David, Tade Whaler. I'm going to assume Donovan is. Did Donovan pick Florida to win this thing? Are you kidding me?
Oh, my goodness. That's the best.
Oh, man. Donovan, you picked Florida. I'm stunned by that. Was that a little reverse psychology? I see what he did. I see what Donovan did here. Uh-huh.
Oh, man.
I see what he did. I like it. I can support it. But there you go. There's your updated challenge.
Look
how many 99 percentile we got here. Look how many people in the Southeastern 16 bracket here. This is incredible. So,
am I mathematically out of the running?
Yeah, where's Nashville, Ryder, and Barkett?
You're right here, but you're not gonna.
I can't.
You can't.
There's not
you can't lap
left
these
on the
guys
board
at this point.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
That's where
it was a good try.
I think for me, the only possibility is if Duke wins, then I will win the bracket. But Florida wins, it's going to one of these two guys. I don't know who has. I'm going to assume they both have the same championship game, but they may not. So we'll take a look at it later after this one. Max wins the whole thing if Houston wins. That's the way I see it. So Max and I.
Oh, Cougars!
Do I beat you if Florida wins?
Well, I don't know. Maybe, but you can't win the bracket, I don't think.
Okay.
You just want to beat me. You don't care about winning the bracket. Okay, I see. Well, that's totally understandable. So, anyways, I'm not rooting for my bracket, okay? I'm rooting for the best possible game and combination. So, Florida fans, hey, that's where we're at. So, there you have it. All right, here's what we're going to do.
Yes.
We're going to get a couple more super chats in here, I think. By the way, Big Baller Brett weighing in on the Texas A&M hire. Real shocked by that. The Big Baller Brett is weighing in on that.
Thanks for the comment.
We'll get more comments on that. Donovan, $5 on super chat. So proud of the seniors. Words can't describe it. The loss hurts. We'll be back strong. Great game for the Gators. Go win it all. So we appreciate
Donovan.
Appreciate Donovan as always. So, all right, Florida fans, celebrate. Enjoy yourselves. And we will, again, likely be back after this next game. But if it's a 30-point game or something, I can't guarantee that. We may just use that time to preview the national championship game instead. So we'll see how it goes. But we may jump back on after this next game, give you a few thoughts early on it. But our full prediction video for the national championship game, Florida versus whoever, that'll go up tomorrow morning. So just giving you guys a heads up on that. So turn on your notifications so you know we go live next or the next video we publish here at Southeastern 16. So, all right. Congrats.
Go party. Go party. EJ, section 109.
109. I hear 109 is getting rowdy. I've got some text coming in. Here in the 109. Get a little rowdy there. But, yeah.
There you go.
All right.
We out to watch Houston and Duke?
We are.
Can't wait for that one. All right. We will be back. When are we going to do the preview of the national title game? Tomorrow morning?
Mm-hmm.
Tonight?
Yeah.
Whenever?
No.
Okay.
Tomorrow morning. Yep.
All right. Hope you're here for it.
Yes.
Baseball coming up. We might do a recap tomorrow night and certainly Power Rankings Monday morning. Again, we had a massive audience this year. We got bills to pay like everybody else. So if you are a sponsor looking for a large audience that covers the SEC, reach out to us. We'd love to speak with you.
There we go.
Getting that point through. EJ, good luck, my man. May some Southeastern 16s come pay you a visit. 16ers. All right. For Max Barr, Blake Lovell, I'm Chris Lee. God bless you. Have a great night. Congratulations to Florida. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again soon with more sports content at Southeastern 16.